So the next step after the detailed design is prototype and development. Okay, so prototype and development and testing. Okay, so these two are very important phase for mechanical design. Okay, prototype development is nothing but you are developing the product or the physical component. Okay, so in a CI simulation or in a 3D modeling, rather in a CAD structure, you are going to virtually create a model or just for visualization purpose. But in the prototype, this is the first sample. It's also pretty common for a lot of organization to name their sample also, like A sample, B sample, C sample, D sample, so on and so forth. Okay, so you first produce your sample. Okay, and then you are going to test it. Okay, of course during testing you are going to have certain standard procedures. Of course it can also come with the standard codes, and you are going to test it for various design considerations, and you are going to give the feedback to the stakeholders. Okay, so this is very important step because this is where you validate whatever you have simulated also. By this you can also make sure your simulation models are accurate. Okay, and you also validate that your product works as expected in the environment. Okay, so after the prototype development and testing, we come to the manufacturing, sales and product improvement or product development. Okay, of course we saw a lot of from need till your testing, you have lot of stages. I think this we covered. Okay, then you release the final drawing to the manufacturing. Okay, you release the final drawing to the manufacturing, and from manufacturing it gets into sales, so on and so forth. Okay, it's very important that during this entire process you write down the lessons learned, because you don't need to commit the same mistake when you are re-engineering things or when you are getting into the next project. Okay, and also follow the continuous development of the product. For example, have a certain platform maintenance strategy, in terms of giving that delta innovation to the existing product. Okay, so these are important steps. To summarize, starting from the need, okay, then detailed design, concept selection, concept generation, concept selection, so on and so forth. Then we also saw a lot of techniques for concept selection. We also touched upon innovation. Okay, then we also spoke about communication, detailed analysis, prototype development, testing. Okay, and finally into manufacturing. So these are the stages of the design. Okay, and as you see, the commitment or the responsibility of the design engineer does not end the time he gives the design, because he is going to get the feedback from analysis and testing team, again change your design, and then give the design to the manufacturing team. For example, whatever design you are going to give, the manufacturing team certainly will have their own constraints, and they are going to ask you to make certain changes because for the design of manufacturability standpoint. Okay, so again this is a closed loop process until you arrive at an optimal design. So these are some of the steps in design process which is very important. Okay, starting from the need till the product reaches the customer. Okay, I think I thought of also covering this product life cycle, which is also very important. Yeah, so on y axis you have the sales, and on x axis you have the time. Okay, so product life cycle, usually it follows a S curve. So S curve is a magic curve in the business terms. Yeah, it can also be applicable for the product, process, so on and so forth. Yeah, from the product standpoint, it follows a S curve. at the initial you have an introduction phase, and then okay, wherein your sales is less during the introduction, okay, and then it gets into a growth phase where your sales is going to increase exponentially, okay, and then it reaches a maturity or it reaches a kind of saturation, okay, over the course of time, and then the product eventually dies down or it declines or the sales declines. This is how it is. Traditionally, you can also think about olden days, you know, the phones, for example, Nokia mobile phones or other mobile phones for that matter, the button types phones. Yeah. So there was a time where the sales was peak and it was saturated, and then there was a sudden decline, and then now the sales is very less. Yeah, this is a point where you should also think about the product extension. For example, in terms of mobile phone, it is a smartphone now. Okay? You think about the product extension. This is very critical point. You need to understand that as soon as you reach this point, yeah, you need to have adequate innovation in the pipeline to improve the, you know, and to start the next design process or next product life cycle. You know? Now again the sales will increase, and then again it gets down, again you find this point, so again you innovate, and then you get through it, so you don't get into the decline phase. So you should always have adequate concepts in the pipeline just to jump the decline in profit, okay, and get into the next cycle. So catch the bus, catch the next bus, keep catching the next bus. For that, you this point is the key, where you know the sales starts coming down. Okay. So as I said, new products in pipeline is key for it. Okay, and your time is also very critical here, because if you are not going to do any further innovation, then your sales is going to go down. Okay, so this is a very nice concept to also know as a design engineer, because you should know what relevancy your design has. Okay.